Here on how I use TikTok and how I run my ads. So basically, it's called the TikTok glitch method, and I usually use this method to test the product, and I also use it to also scale the product. So first thing you need to do is click create on a campaign, and obviously you need to set up an account with TikTok ads first. All right, once this is made, you want to make sure you click custom mode. We're going to go website conversions. Going to change the campaign name to just whatever you want. I generally name it like whatever it is. So I just say the humidifier glitch method. And then you also want to set a campaign budget. Make sure it's lifetime, not daily. $50. Alright, once this is done, you can keep the ad group name if you want, or it doesn't really matter. Just change it to glitch humid. Okay. If you don't have a pixel already, you got to go set that up. So make sure you select your pixel, and then you want to go for complete payment. Select placement, get rid of Pangle. Nobody likes Pangle. And then location, you can change it to whatever you want. I generally like to keep it to just the country that I'm in. So I'm in Australia, so I'll just keep it just in Australia. But if you're in USA, it's great if you're in USA. A lot more audience. I generally like to select ages 18 and up, just because 13 and 17-year-olds don't really convert, stealing their mom's credit cards. You can add interests and behaviors. Generally, it's better to have a broad audience of around 50 million, but since I'm in Australia, it's kind of limited. So if you do want to, you can add interests like humidifiers, home appliances, and then you can turn on targeting expansion as well, which will boost it up a bit, but I'm not really using it at the moment, which is fine. So. And then we want to set a daily budget on the ad group for $100. And then you want to set the time to run. Generally, I like to do it the next day. So right now it's the 6th. Going to run over to the 7th. Start on the 7th. And then we're going to make it start at midnight. And the goal is conversion, obviously. Lowest cost. That's all fine. And then next we're going to move on to the creative. Also apologize if you guys can hear my fans. The fans are actually going crazy for some reason. Mac always does that, so shit. Alright, select the creative name, whatever you want. Make sure you set your custom identity. And then you want to upload your creative. I've got mine in library already. Just use a quick preview of what the creative looks like. Just a simple thing. You want to keep it nice and simple. Maybe a little bit of text describing what your product does. I did steal this content, but I've chopped it up to myself, so it's pretty decent. You want to chuck in your URL. Oops, wrong one. Chuck that one in. And then for call to action, generally dynamic is good. Just make sure it's nothing funny, like that's all fine. Sometimes it'll be like learn more or something. You don't want to select them, but these ones are generally fine. And then all of this can be the same. And then click submit. Enter the ad text. For the ad text, I generally like to put if you got a discount on the website, which you should have, just to get more sales. Definitely just say 50% off store-wide ends today. Submit. And now that's our basic campaign structure. Now what we're going to do is duplicate this, make it 500 ad groups. So campaigns, and I'll show you how to duplicate it in Excel, because if you duplicate it by hand, you can only do a maximum of 10 at a time. So it's going to take you years to do it. Okay, so alright, once we've got the campaign here, what you need to do is click bulk create edit. And then click, make sure you select your campaign that you just made. Click bulk create edit, and you want to click export ads. You'll export it as a Excel sheet. Just give it a second. Boom. Alright, so open up this Excel sheet. A couple things we need to do before we start duplicating. So first thing is like this. Alright, so you can see it looks a little bit complicated, but it's pretty simple once we work through it. So you can see campaign ID, we need to delete that right there. We need to come here, delete the ad group ID as well. And then over here, we want to delete the ad ID as well. Alright, so that's what we need to delete. And then for the campaign name, you're going to make sure it's different. So just make it something random. Glitch humidify method. So make sure the campaign name is different to your existing campaign that you just made. The one we just made is only to duplicate. No, we're not going to use it. And then for the ad group name, you want to make sure that's different as well, and you want to number that. So glitch humidifier 1, there we go. Alright, so first thing we need to do is we need to just copy this whole row, paste it one down, then select both rows and copy that, drag it down till you reach 500 rows. It doesn't have to be exactly 500, it can be anything above, so 580, that's fine. I might drop it down to, I'll just drop down to 527. Anywhere around 500 is fine, 500, 600, it's all good. You want to make sure all of this stuff is the same. Scroll back to the top, make sure every campaign name is the same and it's not numbered differently. Make sure it's all the same, and then for the ad group name, make sure you got the 1 there, and then you want to change the next one to 2, and then select them both and drag down, and it'll slowly number them up because you want each ad group name to be different since you're going to duplicate them 500 times. So just scroll to the bottom here, drag down, and that'll make, there we go, several different ones. You can see 469, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, etc. And that's it for the campaign structure. And that's literally it. Okay. Yep. Alright, so once you've done all that, that's ready to go. Just click File, Save, and close that now. And then you want to come back here. You can unselect this one. Click Bulk Create Edit, and then you want to click Import Ads now. And we're just gonna drop the file that we just edited into there. And then basically it's gonna pass the file, just checks everything's G, you know. That'll probably take a while. Don't get impatient. It'll often get stuck at 99% done, and you'll think it's stuck or something, but it's fine. So yeah, just be patient. It can take a few hours to do this. Once you pass the file, it'll say it's ready. You just click next again. It'll create the ads, and then once you finish that, you just run them really. And after you run them, once the ads are all created, you want to wait for the first $50 to spend, right? This is the final part of the method. You wait for the first $50 to spend on the ads, and then once the ad has spent its lifetime budget, like the campaign, of $50, don't expect to get any sales then. You want to wait a couple hours just after it's spent the $50. It'll spend it really quick. And then after a couple of hours, you want to bump the lifetime budget to $60. So just bump it up by $10, and you'll get like 3 or 4 conversions just from the $10 bump. So basically what happens is the ad groups just go into a frenzy and they just start trying to overcompensate for what they have actually been paid for. Because you can imagine, you know, 500 different ad groups with a $100 spend with only $10 to work with. They just go crazy and you get heaps of conversions for really cheap. And you can do this multiple times a day. Just make sure you space it out as well. And you can just keep bumping 60, 70, 80. Generally at around the $70 to $80 mark, I usually start a new one. And sometimes you need to refresh your pixel as well. But basically that's what I do. Run it multiple times a day and you got yourself easy 1K days. So yeah.